Hi, Corrie here, coming in to do the January 2022 energy forecast readings. I'm starting off with Capricorn. Since we are in Capricorn season, we're going to be doing the reading the energy for those born under the sign. Please remember, it's not to be replaced by any medical psychological advice. It's not a personal reading. It's to be taken as entertainment. I'm reading through the energy that is existing out there that aligns to Capricorn energy. So moving forward is what I'm picking up for Capricorn for the month of January, moving forward. And I just keep hearing, that may be something you find yourself repeating or saying, moving forward, I will not be doing this. Moving forward, this will be happening. So it's like a call to action that feels like it's coming up for the Capricorn energy. Yesterday on the 2nd was the new moon. Today is the 3rd. And I just feel like, so some of the call to action plans that you're trying to place is like not allowing yourself to get over ambitious and to be, it's great to have a big dream, a big pipe dream, but it's the baby steps that we take. And I feel like for Capricorn, that sense of failing self, feeling as if you're, a failure to yourself, like not being able to succeed. You are very hard on yourself if you do not achieve what you've been seeking or what you set your intention to. So you may crow a little bit about what you're going to be doing, about what you're going to take on, such as a new diet or a big business plan. You're like, oh, I'm going to make this happen. And yeah, hurrah, hurrah. And then you hurrah, hurrah, hurrah other people on as well. I find you get everybody involved in your motives to be able to go forward. It's like you want to tag team everybody, you want to inspire everyone. And then when it fizzles or you lose the gas in your tank, like you just start to, you start to fall back down. It's like, oh, so then it's that self-saboteur energy that comes back in and you lose that sense of self. So you're being told right now in January, coming into 2022, not to be so ambitious, with trying to accomplish everything right now. Rome was not built in a day. And that's what you're being reminded of. Rome was not built in a day. It did not just happen overnight. Nothing just happens overnight. And sometimes it's all the little baby steps that allow us, when we can start to reward ourselves and to see the sense of accomplishment in the small things, is that we start to feel as if we are successful, we are accomplished, we're doing things in a healthy form, a healthy way. And we have less chances of that self-sabotage coming in by feeling like we're failing ourselves, because it's that self-prophecy story that will play over your whole year, all coming into January, all coming into 2022. Do not replay that self-saboteur story. Do not allow yourself to go to that place. It's like everything that is telling you to be very, very aware of that old energy is just saying, if you want to see a change, you have to really become aware of what you are feeding into, what you are feeding in through social media, what you're feeding in through news, but what you're feeding yourself in how you speak to yourself, how you communicate to you. You also have a tie to, with that story comes in some martyr stories, and feeling like you have to be that person who's there for everyone. It's like, that's my job, I'm there for everyone this year. And it's like, no, it's not all about you playing out a martyr story. It is not all about you having to be present for everyone. It's really about being present for you, but still showing up. So a lot of shame stories. I don't know why. I have a lot of shame stories come up around the Capricorn energy. And it's like, when you're not a number one, when you're not succeeding, when you're not needed by everyone, you play out some sort of shame stories. And so shame stories, like really doing a lot of healing work on the word shame and where that plays out. And so that we could shame our own selves every time we don't succeed. Like, it's just, be aware of shame stories. Be aware of shaming other people for not staying on board with you, not staying on your train with you. Because then when you shame them and then they stay committed, even though they don't want to, but then you fail, then you feel worse again. And so it's like, you don't need to take anyone on this journey with you. This is a year of self-reflection. This is a journey of self. This is a journey this year of being able to do some deep self-reflecting, gaining some clarity, and looking in further, deep dive into you this year, Capricorn. That's a big part of your journey this year. So January is the beginning of this. So it's like, you don't have to go, off to the races and get out of the gate first and go flying. That you can be more of the tortoise energy. You can, slow and steady wins the race. And that's what you're being told. Slow and steady wins the race. You have a lot of like youthful, childlike energy, which means I feel like there's some childhood. This year is about inner child healing and going deeper into there. And I have the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands coming up, and the Three of Wands. And so for you, I'm just like, that Page of Wands is in reverse. So I have blue around it. So I'm not really reading tarot at the moment. I'm just using the cards as an imagery to give me provide me more information. So what I'm being told is that whole sense of like, before we start crowing that I'm going to do this, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to make this happen, before we start letting our voice, and some of this is like closed off chakra, which means you're great at giving advice, you're great at telling people what to do, you're great at being able to have all of this wisdom that comes in for you. But instead of handing it out, this year is about bringing it into you. Use it for you. This wisdom that's coming in is not about showboating. It's not about having to get everybody else on board. It is truly about you. And what I'm getting with this is also the Page of Wands is just showing me that fire energy, that passion, so it's like there's kind of fanning that air. Yeah, it's right back to the races again, right back to the races. So it's about, looking and seeking some sort of validation. That's what's coming up, and not needing it, but you are going to be moving forward. There is somebody or something coming in this year that inspires you to tap into the wisdom to listen. And so I feel like for some of you, it is also life-changing events. So, and the Three of Wands is just bringing in that, is the ship coming in? Is it going out? Is something coming? What is coming forth for you? And picking up the pieces. So it's like you're leaving some stuff behind, taking this to me, this is representing wisdom to me. I don't know why, but that's what it's representing to me right now. Is I feel like there's wisdom coming in, knowledge coming in, but because you got it, you want to crow about it and you want to go give it to everyone else. It's like, oh no, we all need to do this and everybody needs to do this and everybody needs to be on board. No, not everybody needs to. And you don't need everybody already knowing about what you're trying to do and about your plans, because if every day doesn't go as planned, then you're back into some shaming yourself story and some self-sabotage stories. And it's like, no. This is a soul journey that is, being guided by spirit. What is coming in for you? What is coming in for you is the guides and the beautiful energy that's coming in to help you to be able to grow and to evolve beyond being stuck in a story and energy. Some childlike energy healings happening. And those beautiful oranges that come up in the tree. I always do that comparison. I always do the apple and orange comparison. I don't know, it's like that fruit and the orange is that sacral create, what we can create. I say, what can you create from an orange, right? It's what can you create from an apple? But in comparison, there's really no comparison to one or the other. So comparing yourself to what was and to what is to become there's nothing to compare. There's no real comparison. So, or comparing yourself to others. This is a year to really, truly step in and step up, but in a much tortoise energy, not so stubborn, not so persistent, because that stubbornness can sometimes be crippling. I feel like for some of you, I feel like you've been carrying the load. And it's funny, I just finished recording a message about my little deer that I found outside the garbage. And then behind here is those stag energies again, right? And so that rammy horn energy, a lot of fire energy around you. You have a lot of, I don't know why, I don't know if you're a challenge. I feel like for some of you is that you have a love-hate relationship with some of the stronger signs like Aries. So there's something of a love-hate relationship. You want to be, I feel like the Aries energy just feels like sometimes it calls you out and it calls you up. And so it's not calling you out. This is not calling you out in a bad way. It's calling you out in the way of just saying it's time to light a fire, but sometimes you need to stay warm by the fire and so that you can use the fire as light to light the spark, but then giving it time to ignite. So it's like timing. And so the 10 of Wands, and this one is like taking everything with them. Man, taking everything, going ahead, taking everything. So, take what you've learned, take the lessons that you've learned, and just know the changes, know what needs to be done, what's necessity. But also the full moon for you this month is big. It's like that's coming. I think it kind of comes in the Aquarius, but it's a wolf moon. And so that lone wolf. So sometimes that fear of being a lone wolf and wanting to involve everybody can also have you driving away people from your life. So sometimes it feels lonely because you push people away because of shame stories. And that's not working. That's not working. So there is there's a major shift that's coming up here, and I got the sun. And what I'm getting with this is that there's that, the moon has its cycles and its purpose and why it's there, as does the sun. So walking more and more and more towards your light, towards your happiness and your joy really truly is going to be that steady process of you may have to change path and direction to follow the sun. The sun doesn't come up in one spot and stay there. So you may have to go in different directions. You may have to take a different path. You may have to change your mind and your thought. So don't get people onto your bandwagons, because your bandwagon is going to be going zigzagging in and out through life. And you don't need to drag people on that journey, because it's going to affect how you show up. This is about you. So I do have the wolf spirit coming in for you. I'm picking up that wolf spirit and going against the grain. Now I also have coming in for you a third person. And I just heard split the pack. So I had to split the deck, and I had to lift the deck up and split the deck. And I got the 3 of Swords coming in here. So there is some sort of interference. Is it ego, or is it an outside energy, outside forces, outside energy or outside forces that are affecting some of the relationships within your life, including this could be the relationship with you. It could be some sort of addiction-ism, or it could be some sort of affair energy. Now, I don't go making accusations, or don't go making up stories in your head that somebody you love is having an affair. That's not what it means. That's not what it always means. But, there could be something that's interfering, and sometimes it is our own ego. So ego, moving beyond beyond the ego, the unhealthy ego, and allowing ourselves to find a healthy balance with all sides of ourselves. That's very important for you coming into this month, Capricorn. And all of 2022. These may be a little bit longer because it's kind of trailing beyond January. This is your energy going through this is your survival kit for 2022. And that's how you will be able to truly move forward. And you'll see progressive change. You'll see growth, you'll see action happening, you'll see those changes. And it's like, and so everything that walks you towards living in the light, living happier, whole, is very much for you. And it will be a journey, put it that way. Much love. Do not quit, do not give up. Really explore those stories, and have a beautiful month. Much love. See you in February. Bye-bye.